Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore, and we're in Gilbert's route, and we're just continuing where we left off, and Gilbert got arrested, but now he's out, but then he's gonna have a trial, and we're gonna have to prove he's innocent. Woohoo! Anyway, so, that night, I got ready for bed and was about to turn in, when suddenly there was a knock on my door. Yes?
It's me. Sorry for bothering you so late. You have a moment?
I'm coming. I opened the door and welcomed Gil into my room. Is something the matter?
I'm going to visit Dante Falzone and Yang of the Lao Shu tomorrow.
You're going to see the bosses of the other families?
Yeah, figured I should explain to them why I was arrested this morning. I don't want them getting the wrong idea about the situation or think that it's a good time for a power grab.
It must be hard on you, Gil. Maintaining a connection with the other two bosses in Berlin must be why balance is maintained among the families. But why are you telling me this? Huh?
I wanted you to join me. Yes! We get to go to the casino and see Best Boyfriend!
What? Me?
The Visconti family doesn't want to be in the conflict with them over this incident. That's why we're meeting. But your existence can potentially be the root of discord among the families.
I couldn't help but remember what happened that night, and a cold sense of fear returned. Do I really have to go?
Yeah, I need to be honest with them and convince them to be okay with your staying with me. Of course, I'm not planning on betraying you or selling you to them. Trust me on that.
Not this time, but you were gonna once. I'm just saying. I looked at Gil carefully. I don't mean to doubt you, but...
I see. What a bind.
Although I don't want to go, I suppose there's no other choice, is there? I don't want to be in the dark about why they were after me anyway. I couldn't resolve anything just by closing my eyes and plugging my ears. I need to move on, and I need to move on from this eventually. I can't stay here forever.
Personally, I don't mind if you stay here. I'd welcome you with open arms. I'm sure you would, right into your bed.
Hearing my response, Gil became very happy. However, his expression quickly turned serious, and he spoke softly.
I understand why you're worried. No normal person in town would volunteer to attend a gathering with all the bosses in one room. But you've made up your mind. Grazie. Thank you for your courage.
Of course, it didn't change the fact that I was scared. But even so, I made up my mind. Where are you going to meet with them?
A casino.
I mean, I knew he was going to say it. Because, we got excited before, but I'm just more excited when you said it. Because, my favorite. His route's going to traumatize me, probably. It's probably not going to be anything. I'm, so hyped for it, it'll just be a letdown, probably. Anyway, a casino? I'd never been in one, but I'd heard it was a social gathering of ladies and gentlemen where a lot of money was exchanged. I mean, right here is a lot of money is exchanged. It sounds like the perfect place to counterfeit money and put it into circulation in the middle of a casino, right? Right? I'm just saying. And it's probably Redford behind it. Not Redford. He's Redford. Rosberg. The R popped into my head and we're looking at Gilbert, so, well. You know what I'm saying? Rosberg has something to do with it, probably. Direttore definitely pulls some puppet strings, but someone is puppeting him. But I'm just saying, could be him too. If he's doing it, is he doing it because he thought of it? Because he's an evil mastermind? Or someone's pulling his puppet strings? But I'm just saying the casino seems like a very likely place. Right? Come on. Can they even have a conversation in such a loud place?
You look curious. I know I said a casino, but we're not going to talk in the main hall. It's in a neutral area, and the Direttore is very understanding of us. That's why I've reserved the place.
I see.
That's right. Do you know there's a dress code at a casino?
Yes, I've heard of it, and yet you're still going to wear the exact same suit, and they're all going to wear the same outfits that they always wear. I'm just saying. You could at least dress up for it. You're always dressed up, let's be honest. That's a hot outfit. Look, a man in a vest is the thing. Look, a man in glasses, but I do love a man in a vest, and I got to appreciate that when we play games, and there's boys in vests, and this is just... This game gets to me. You're wearing sexy suits. You all have vests on, like full fucking suits. The fucking vests and the hats and... Clearly haven't got it over one of my past lives, is all I'm saying.
There's a nice dress we bought the other day. I think it was the crimson one with the embroider.
I'm sorry, Gil. It was so kind of you to buy it for me, but I can't wear that dress.
Did something happen to it?
No, it's not that. I wanted to come up with a good excuse, but for some reason I couldn't think of one. Okay, so that is the dress she was talking of, and that's not the one that she put on for dinner. All right. I decided to be honest with him. Well, the dress is a very open design, right? I have this birthmark. If I wear that dress, it'll be exposed.
I don't mind, but he's like, I don't mind.
But I do.
Rude. But I know that's not the issue here. It's fine. I got it. Times like these, your feelings come first. If you don't want to wear it, let's not wear that one.
Thanks, Gil.
But I want one with flowers on it. There was a pink dress like that, right?
I want one with flowers on it. Why? He's so specific.
I can't wait to see you all dressed up tomorrow.
I'm not confident, but I'll try my best. I gave a small sigh as I answered, but Gil laughed out loud as if satisfied.
I was like, I don't mind if your birthmark shows, but I get it's all about you. Your comfort is it's top priority.
I appreciate you.
It suits you. You're beautiful, Space. Even the night stars would be jealous.
You know what? The thing is, like, Gil, that's such a lovely thing to say, but when you're smiling at me like that with that devilish grin on, it just totally negates anything you say, and it's like, you're just being you're being a perv. You're being a smarmy bastard right now, like,
yeah, you look pretty hot, baby.
Like, such a player right now. Ever since I met him, Gil has always been this way. He offered intimate words of praise, but it was beginning to embarrass me. I had asked him a few times not to do so, but he always told me very seriously that he couldn't help it because it was the truth, and how could he lie? And so, we entered a restricted hallway in the casino and finally reached the room. Are we not going to meet Direttore? What the fuck? Inside, there were already 3 people waiting. Ugh. I just love how angry he looks at me. I love Mafia Hijikata.
Dante Falzone.
Oh. First was Dante Falzone. He glanced at me and furrowed his brow in annoyance. He's mad because he can't hold my hand. He's annoyed because I look so hot. You really are late, Gilbert. I thought you weren't going to join us this time. Nicola. Nicola Francesca was smiling, but he spoke in a tone that seemed on edge. Gil said it was a meeting with the 3 family bosses, but the fact that Nicola's here must mean Signor Francesca is one of the high-ranking members of the Falzone? It seemed unlikely that a member of no status would be given a seat at the table, so she doesn't know how it works in them. Okay. I mean, I know we figured out, but I thought she kind of already knew he was like number 2, like Dante's right-hand man. You know what I mean? I thought that was common knowledge, but maybe she just doesn't give a shit to know, so she doesn't pay attention. Gil gave a casual smile.
Got me some slack, guys. I was so mesmerized by the goddess of the moon that I lost track of time.
Dante's like, oh my god, with your bullshit. Dante, this is why he gets all the ladies. Because he knows how to... Dante's like stutters and blushes. Nicola's like, dude. Huh? Wait, Gil, are you talking about me?
Of course.
Gil gave a mischievous smile, and part of me regretted asking him. And the last person in the room was... bringing a woman to a meeting such as this. Yang. It was the man who had pointed a knife to my throat that night at the church. I recalled the fear I felt back then and couldn't help but freeze where I stood. It seems your time in jail is just a distant memory now. As expected, Redford. However, I never imagined the head of the Visconti would be arrested so suddenly. Perhaps you could share so we could use it as a future reference.
Of course, I'd be happy to share. That's why I called you here today.
Gil never broke his smile as he pulled something out of his pocket.
Space, can you take this to them?
Yes, Wait, whoa, when did we become your lackey? Am I getting paid? Well, I got a lot of nice clothes, so alright, fine. I nervously took what he offered and walked up to each boss. For you, Senor Falzone. He gave me a cold glance, but accepted it without saying anything. Because he's like, oh, she's supposed to be mine. For you, Senor Yang. He looked back at me as my voice shook and gave a teasing smile. I admire your taste, Redford. However, rather than a flashy dress, why don't you ever wear something neat and tidy, fitting of a churchwoman?
In her case, she's more irresistible in a modest dress. Of course, I couldn't present her to you guys like that.
Responding in an aloof tone, Senor Falzone spoke quietly.
A $10 bill.
It's American money, though. Why are they counterfeiting American money? Like, I'm just really confused.
I'm counterfeiting money, but instead of making whatever the fuck we use in Italy, I don't know, we're using American dollars.
Sure, there's a reason for that, but... In their hands was the money I gave them.
Looks like any other tent, doesn't it? But that's a counterfeit.
In an instant, the air in the room grew cold. Indeed. At first glance, it's difficult to tell. It's quite an elaborate counterfeit. How would they know, though? Like, if someone gave you, like, Canadian money, like, you would know it's counterfeit? Because, I'm sorry, it's colorful and it looks counterfeit, okay? Like, every single time they change any of the money in America, right? When they're like, oh, we started making it colorful, and you hand it to you, you're like, what the fuck is this fake shit? When they had the dollar coins, what the hell is this fake shit? Like, so if you were in Italy and someone handed you a fucking American 10, you would know if it was counterfeit. You'd be like, I guess. I don't know what American money looks like. We don't fucking use that shit. So I just find it really funny that the counterfeit money is American. I mean, it makes sense because we probably have more counterfeit money than anybody else. But I'm just saying, like, there's somebody's counterfeiting American money in Italy? I mean, I guess it's smart because you would think that, again, it would be harder to trace because, again, if someone gave you... If you were at a store, you'd have to be at a bank. Because how would they... If you were running a shop in Italy and someone handed you an American 10, you'd be like, I don't know what this is. I can't take this. How do I do the conversion of money? And, like, what the fuck? It's not like 10 is 10. You know what I mean? It's different all around. So, like... I'm just really confused. I'm really confused. One hand, smart, because they would know, but on the other hand, it's not like you could easily spread it around. You'd have to go to an Italian bank. And I guess in the 20s, you went to an Italian bank, like, oh, I'm a tourist. I gotta trade in my $100 American dollars for whatever the fuck we use in Italy. I don't know. Right? Okay, but like... I mean, don't you think it'd be noticeable that, like, well, I don't know, we've been getting a lot of American money, like, floating in here. That would just be obvious! We're just not supposed to remember that we're in Italy using American money? Because that's just weird.
This is the reason why I was arrested.
And this was your doing?
Not mine. It was obtained by a friend. I needed to bring a sample or else you wouldn't believe me, right?
Dante doesn't say a fucking word.
Supposedly, these have been circulating around Berlone.
So the counterfeits are in dollars? They weren't in lira, the Italian currency. Okay, see? Alright, I'm not the only one who thinks this is fucking weird. She's like, okay, so lira is Italian currency. Okay. Perfect, that helps.
Yeah, it's a good eye you got there. If you're gonna do something wrong, might as well do it right. In this world, there's cheap money, and there's expensive money.
Cheap money and expensive money? So is like 10 American dollars worth more than like 10 lira? You know, where you're like, oh, I handed you $10 and you gave me 50 lira. Now I'm rich because that was fake. And if you're gonna fucking counterfeit money, do the ones, the fives, and the tens. Nobody checks that shit. Everybody wants to counterfeit the hundreds and shit. Nah, man, you can't even go like 20 and people put a little marker on it and go like, yeah, okay, it's legit. No, you gotta do the ones and the fives. Nobody checks that shit. Nobody gives a crap. Counterfeit those pennies. Gonna have the FBI at my house, like, thinking I'm fucking counterfeiting money now. I'm just saying, be smart. Counterfeit the smaller bills. Like, you're gonna go to the bank, fives, and pay for $20 worth of stuff with a 5. They're not gonna check those 5s. They're gonna check that $20 bill, though. They're gonna check that 50 or that fucking 100, make sure it's not counterfeit. They ain't gonna check those 5s. Just saying. They might think you're weird, but then you're just like, what? Work nights at a strip club. That's why I got all these ones, bitch. Or like $2 bills, because ain't nobody knows what the fuck those look like. I mean, I feel like most people, if you gave them a $2 bill, they'd be like, what the hell is this counterfeit bullshit? Hello, $2 bills exist. God. And then they'd take it, because, you know, you're old. And they're like, old people are weird. Like, just saying. Just don't counterfeit $3 bills, because those never existed. Anyway. International trust in lira is weak. And for half a century, the country had local banknotes with the same value as issued nationally. Even now, the lira isn't a currency that's unified in all Italian regions. In rural areas, they say that the local banknote is more value than the national currency. So, even if you made counterfeit lira, it still wouldn't have value globally? Exactly. Have you heard of the Long Depression? The Depression in the late 1800s? I heard it lasted 20 years. That's right. America went through it as well, but their export value increased instead of decreased. Well, the 30s are coming, so... They sold some things to Europe and earned a hefty wad of foreign currency. Some things, indeed. If you're going to say that much, why not simply tell her what they were? What do you mean? America provided Europe with what they needed, growing their industry and becoming vastly wealthy. Now, what could you have possibly wanted? Something happened in your region, if you recall. An incident that occurred in Europe. War. Yang's smile warped, and he smirked with satisfaction at my response. Then, what America was selling were weapons for war? We're really good at that. Like, America was far from the battlefield, making their money without shedding any blood. I mean, not technically if we're selling, like, weapons of war. I'm just saying. Just wait, we haven't gotten to the 1940s yet. We get worse. Shit. Leave it at that, Yang. Do you plan on having a history lesson with her? Might be kind of fun. And the woman has no sense of urgency. I was possessed by the desire to educate her. Oh, I bet. Getting back to the point, the American dollar is currently the most valuable currency in the world. Woohoo! For 1925. Even in a global economic crisis, America's known for their ability to rebuild capital. That's how they've sustained credibility. Economic crisis? Hasn't there been greater prosperity lately? After the Crimean War? I don't know how to say that. Well, there was economic turmoil worldwide. There are rumors of another approaching crisis on a similar or possibly even larger scale. Again, the 1930s are coming up. Knows with their eye on the world. Oh, that's Gilbert, not fucking Dante. Wow. Okay. Those with their eyes on the world cash flow think so anyway. So if you're gonna make counterfeit, you gotta look at not just the value of currency today, but the future value too. So that's why they chose the American dollar. Okay, see, at least we're getting an explanation. I was like, again, because, alright, that makes sense, where you're not gonna know it's counterfeit money if someone hands it to you and you don't know. You're like, oh, okay, sure, I know what the conversion rate is. Maybe if tourism is up and people know. Most people wouldn't, but but again, banks. I think an Italian bank is going to be able to tell if American money's counterfeit? I'm sure now, yes, but maybe in 1925 we didn't have all this, like, counterfeiting measures that we have now. Like, you know what I mean? So they'd be like, oh, okay, $10 is $10. Weird that it's only one-sided. Yeah, it's the new thing that we're trying. And the edges are really jagged. It looks like you tore them out. Is this hand-drawn? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but still. Anyway. For the United Kingdom's pound sterling, its future is steady for now, but its value has plummeted compared to the past. If you were to ask me, I'd also choose the American dollar. Considering the situation, it's only natural. His eyes narrowed coldly as he spoke in an unconcerned manner.
Normally, foreign money's hard to move. Everyone uses the money from their own country. And this town's different.
See, okay, this isn't going to help explain again. Aside from, like, little things that you could figure, but you're like, but again, most shops aren't going to use American money, so... I understood what Gil meant. It's because Berlone is known as the back door to Europe.
That's right. Everyone knows this town's the distribution hub for backdoor deals.
For generations, the Mafia has been a host to illicit transactions. Money, contraband, people, all have been bought and sold here. You're kind of talking about this so nonchalant right now. Yang's the one selling people, and that concerned us, and you're just like... You were saying that someone tried to circulate counterfeit money using this distribution channel?
If my sources are correct, this counterfeit money's already circulating globally. Here, America's got more than a few cases.
Always. And they think you were the one behind all this? The issue was a lot bigger than I thought, and I began to feel dizzy. Yang flicked the money with his finger as if bored. The $10 bill landed on the table. An organization with the power to produce counterfeit money in this town could be... the Falzone, the Visconti, and the Lao Shu. The Mafia of Berlone would naturally be prime suspects. I'm still betting on Dia de Torre. Just saying.
Even though I'm Italian, I was born in America. Can't blame them for suspecting me.
Huh. Well, there you go.
But, if you knew Berlone's... No, our situation, it's very clear. I'd never do such a thing.
Agreed. Huh? I was like, I'm with her there. Wait, Yang agreed with you? Wow. I couldn't understand it first, but after a moment of thinking, I finally figured it out. Because no one wants to do deals in a town known for counterfeiting money.
If we can't make any deals, we'll lose money and power. Berlone's prosperous now, but soon it'll turn into a ghost town. They'll never do something to pull up the roots of the town when we live off its harvest. Dante, Yang, neither of you were involved, right? You couldn't be that idiotic. What's more, I still can't figure out the motive of the real culprits sending out these counterfeits.
I don't know. Dia de Torre didn't seem to like you guys at all. Was that an Orlok's route? That we figured it out, I think? Yeah. I'm just saying, he could be working for Rosberg. And a casino is like a really great place to move money. Just saying. I'm just saying! We're sitting right in a place where money moves in and out constantly, more so than a bank.
I don't think it's to make money.
Perhaps their aim is economic interference, but we're not in the middle of war.
You're right. Well, I guess we can't catch them first. I guess we can catch them first and make them talk later. What we need now is to not lose any more trust in this town. That said, how about a temporary partnership?
It seemed the others anticipated this, as no one looked surprised, except for me. Gil's eyes burned with determination, and he spoke boldly. Gil's voice makes me tired.
Yeah, I'm gonna clear my name. This is a matter of the Visconti's reputation. I'm gonna find the culprit and make them pay for this. I'll never let someone who messes with this town get away.
Hearing that, the first person to speak up was Dante Falzone.
I'm sure you understand. The Falzone is obviously uninvolved in this sort of low-class crime.
He's like, we do high-collar crime. Hello, thank you. Dante looked down coldly at the fake $10 bill.
Those who threaten our name and Berlone's cannot be forgiven. We must identify the culprit and eliminate them. However, we all have our predispositions. It would be an unnecessary challenge to have our soldiers cooperate with one another. But we can each investigate on our own and cooperate by sharing the information we obtain. That much is doable. Grazie, Dante. I had a feeling you'd say that.
Gil smiled, but Dante still looked grumpy. It's because you got the girl. Lao Shu are the only ones left. Everyone naturally looked over at Yang. The door made a loud bang as it was kicked open, and a young man jumped in. I need to speak with you. The Berlone Mafia, that is. I could feel the atmosphere shift to hostility and a clear sense of danger. She's like, well, fuck, everyone who tried to kidnap me is in this room. Especially Yang. The color of his eyes changed, and he seemed a second away from standing up. However, the young man that arrived showed no signs of intimidation. We stay quiet. I was about to call out to him, but just before I did, I stopped myself. Maybe it's best that I pretend to not know him. He was my savior. Any reckless behavior on my part could potentially get in his way. I couldn't let that happen. I carefully looked around and could sense someone looking in my direction. Nicola Francesca was looking at me as if he wanted to see how I would react. Our eyes met, and then he smiled in a kind and friendly way. Yeah, it's a little shady. Because you're a shady bastard, but that's why I love you, you sexy son of a bitch. You gotta know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I will never be able to look like... Ryohei Kimura. Like, you can't... No, I'm sorry. You did Shiraishi. You're playing Nicola and another character in a mobile Otome game, but I'm not going to say anything in case anybody plays that and they haven't gotten that and you don't know that character's shady. But anyway. Like, it's kind of like I should have known, because as soon as that character turned shady, and then I'm playing this and I was like, yep, you are typecast. You're shady. Like, I mean, look at Shiraishi. Nicola's a little fucking shady. But again, we called it. You are suspicious as fuck. I love you, but you are a shady fucking bitch. So beautiful. I still love you. But I don't trust you. I still love you, though. Gil swiftly stood, more serious than usual, and moved in front of me as if to protect me.
Who are you? What do you want with us?
Just then, another person entered the open doorway. Direttore!
Yay! I love you! I'm so excited! Hello!
I truly apologize, everyone. Please forgive the disruption we caused. The person was dressed in elegant clothing, and on his face was a Venetian mask. It's to hide his gorgeousness. Caused? You speak as if we weren't still in the middle of that disruption.
Direttore, what's happened with your security? Seems like negligence on the casino's end.
Direttore? Wait, he's the manager? Of this casino? Our customer insisted that he must speak to everyone in attendance here. I can't do his voice right now. I tried stopping him, but he had already done away with all my security guards. And this is all due to my lack of supervision. I truly apologize.
Dante's like, you're so fucking suspicious. Don't be mad at him, because Direttore is probably a fucking secret ninja, is all I'm saying. Just he is shadier than Nicola. But
it couldn't be helped. Here is a man who has easily stood up against all of us. An ordinary security guard would be no match. The man who was silent until now took a step forward and began to speak. I'm Orlok, a disciple sent by the church.
Orlok! It's like funny that we finally get introduced to everyone this far into this game, but we already knew them all, but...
I came because I have business with you.
A disciple of the church.
I see. A part of me wants to doubt his word, but... If he's gonna lie just to deceive us, I think he'd use a more believable excuse.
Right? Let's hear what this Orlok has to say, and then we'll decide from there. Direttore, leave the room. This is enough interference.
Understood, Signor Falzone. Very well, everyone. Please continue your conversation. He gave a theatrical bow and left the room. I expected the theatrical bow so much.
I was like miming a bow in my head, like, thank you very much. I could just see it, and so I'm so...
The door was slowly closed once again. I'm so happy that we got to see him once. We've seen him quite a few times in this game. Oh, we never get to go on our walk with him. Oh. I have come to Berlin under orders from Bishop Rosberg and the church. The famous Bishop Rosberg? Bishop Joseph von Rosberg. He was a very famous minister in a governing position of the church, and Orlok's dad, but we don't know that. It's our duty as disciples to watch over the sacred site of this town, and to protect the graves and relics therein. In other words, our role to ensure that the Falzone are behaving as they should. Huh? Sacred site? Protecting the grave? Despite their name being mentioned, the two members of the Falzone didn't bat an eye. This town is under the jurisdiction of the church, and they do not appreciate Burlone's recent scandals. The dollar bill possesses high value, and the distribution of counterfeit money, it may cause the global depression following the Crimean War to occur once again. The church is hoping for a swift resolution.
I understand the church is concerned, but
sacred relics? Yang didn't seem to believe Orlok, and his golden eyes narrowed as if he were having fun.
I'm sorry. I have to keep yawning because the voices are hurting me.
Orlok didn't back down and answered simply. This town is subject to extraterritorial order under of the church. Italian law is meaningless here. There's a tendency to overlook criminal activity run by certain organizations. Why has the Mafia been exempt from justice? There's a clear reason behind it. The Mafia of Burlone, in other words, the Falzone family, has a role of watching over the sacred relic that lies in this land.
Yang's like, can I make money off this? Then, in order to protect the Falzone, the church put pressure on Italy?
Yes. Orlok nodded and Gil sighed warily.
Hard to believe as it is, it's actually not so hard to believe. Oh, hard to believe as it is, it's actually not so hard to believe. Besides, looking at Dante and Nicola now confirms it all.
Gil seemed to share history with them and could likely read their expressions.
Or lack of. The fact they didn't bat an eye, they're not like, huh? Confused, they're just like deadpan, like, what?
Signor Falzone stayed silent the whole time, with a serious look on his face. That's always his face. That's his happy face and his sad face. Just kidding. We've seen his happy face. It's just slightly more upturned lip. That's it. Signor Francesca maintained a peaceful smile and seemed unfazed by the situation. Again, pretty much.
That kind of describes basically the two of them majority of the time.
However, the church believes it may be too much of a responsibility for the Falzone to bear stewardship of the sacred relic. The Falzone have allowed a new organization to emerge, and have stood by as this counterfeit money issue came into existence. The church are starting to think that they don't need to protect the Falzone as they used to. So, this is a final warning from the church. Orlok continued indifferently. His words seemed rather cold as he continued. This incident must be resolved within the next 3 months, or the church will take back the sacred relic from Burlone.
You can't just pick up Jesus and move him! It's not how it works!
It's funny that in Dante's Rouse, the only time you ever find out what the relic is. I mean, it makes sense, because otherwise you're basically giving up your key maidenship in every other route, because you're not with Dante, right? But and it makes sense because Dante would know what it is. Well, did he? I think Amelia was the one that told us. I don't think Dante knew it was Jesus. You know what I mean? He just knew it. There's a sacred relic. We don't know what it is. We just know it is. And if that happens, Burlone will obviously lose the backing of the church and its extraterritoriality. Okay, I was like, that can't be I'm like, it has to be extraterritoriality. But I was like, first of all, that's a long ass word, but I was like, ality. Okay. I didn't see it at first when I read it because I was like, Jesus Christ, that's long. Will be lost. Extraterritoriality. There's some words that you can read easy, and other words are just like, can't spell that right.
And this thriving town will just turn into another backwater countryside. The Burlone Mafia will just be a den of criminals being tried under Italian law, huh?
Yang raised his hand slightly with a smirk. Orlok, we've allowed you to speak and understand your little story. However, before deciding on any action, there's one more thing I need to ask. Why did you interfere in matters between me and the Falzone that night? Everything depends on your answer. Well, Orlok looked at me. Huh? It was to protect her. To protect me? You are said to be the key to the sacred relic of this land. You are the key maiden chosen by the stars. I couldn't grasp the words he was saying and could only stand there bewildered. Wow, we get in the whole story. Like, right off the bat, it took us way longer to get that. Well, I mean, we knew about the key maiden part, but like, we're getting so much more of it than we did by the time we had to get to the end of Dante's route before we kind of like put all these pieces together.
Historically,
I mean, it makes sense because this is the last route, but anyway.
Historically, the Foul Zone has looked after the Key Maiden to protect her. However, the church is reconsidering having the Foul Zone watch over the sacred relic.
That's why you didn't side with Dante and allowed her to escape, huh?
I see. With a cold smile, Yang muttered in a skeptical tone. But the funny thing is he was working with Rosberg on the sly, like... But it's weird because... Well, wait. No, because that still happened. We saw Yang was talking, and then Yang was in Rosberg's office, and then I think it went beyond that, but... And then there was a little bit more about Rosberg, but I guess he didn't say anything to Orlok? Because in all of the other routes... Even in Dante's, we're under the protection, but Orlok is trying to get us back to give us to Yang, because that's what Rosberg wants. So in this, Yang's trying to kidnap us, probably because of what Rosberg told him, like, right? But then Orlok doesn't know this? It's a little weird what's happening here, huh?
My word, what a grand story indeed. Holy relics, astrology, and a chosen one.
Wait, I still couldn't understand the truth he revealed to us and spoke with a shaky voice. I've never heard anything about this. Please, if you believe that I'm this person, please explain to me so I can understand. Shut up. Yang gave me a piercing glare and coolly dismissed me, despite my confusion. I have no interest in what happens to you or the secrets that the church is protecting.
But she's involved. Of course she has the right to know what's happening to her.
And then save that conversation for another time. What meeting are we having here? There are other things we need to discuss.
They silently glared at one another, and someone gave a small sigh. I was going to say it's probably Dante.
Not only did you reveal the existence of the sacred relic, but also of the Key Maiden. Seems the church doesn't care what happens as a consequence, so long as they have an immediate solution to their issue.
I was hoping he would dismiss or deny what Orlok had said, but his reaction was rather confirmation of Orlok's story. Am I really such a person? My confusion slowly turned to fear, and I could feel my fingers trembling. I'm being pulled into something beyond me. No, it seems I was pulled in a long time ago.
Is the church really unconcerned that you exposed this much? At this rate, even if we were to resolve the counterfeit issue, another would begin.
If it becomes a problem, simply take additional steps to ensure its concealment. What's more, this is urgent. If we do nothing, it could affect the world economy.
So, Yang, why did you attempt to abduct her? How much did the Lao Shu uncover?
He's like, what?
A little bird told me that the Foul Zone was keeping watch over a woman at the church, that's all. I couldn't contain my curiosity regarding the circumstances, so I invited myself to look upon her precious face.
That is such a load. A little bird. Yes, Joseph Rosberg. But, kind of funny that you're like, I just wanted to look at her. Bullshit.
And that's the only reason you decided to abduct her? Impulsive as usual? Who knew she'd end up being such a valuable catch? Indeed, something befitting of a fairy tale.
Yeah, yours was like the dark fairy tale, but like we enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. Okay, hot stuff. Yang had a smirk on his face, but his eyes weren't laughing at all. Orlok, as usual, didn't seem fazed by any of this, silently looking back at Yang.
You don't believe me?
I couldn't be bothered with believing all that.
However, I do know that the church is serious, and that's more than enough. I don't care to listen to the rest.
Yang spoke coldly. Suddenly his smile deepened.
As thanks for telling me that captivating story, I suppose I can offer you a tale of my own. Huh? You're aware that the Lao Shu are backed by the Chinese mafia that...
Li Huang Yu? Can't say that, but anyway.
Lately, they've been behaving suspiciously. And the Lao Shu has naturally exceeded expectations in Berlin compared to our humble beginnings. However,
can't say it.
has begun to send unwanted goods to us without my consent and demanding compensation. These goods are a new form of a drug called the red peony. It's highly addictive, with far greater side effects than previously seen. If we continue to sell this, I'll eventually lose ground.
Must be tough to have shitty upper management.
Indeed. To top it off, they've been much more of a nuisance lately.
The nature of the conversation was quite grave, but Yang continued as if he were having fun.
Unfortunately, I can't disobey them. We're merely the arm of the
Li Heng Hu? Li Heng? What? I don't know. I can't. Anyway. Oh, the Liu Heng? I can't. Why do they keep bringing it up? Anyway.
It seems the whatever are driving you into a corner. Did you do something to provoke them?
He leisurely tapped his pipe and deepened his smile as if he knew something.
Let me cut to the chase. I personally believe they have something to do with the counterfeiting.
I'm just going to say they from now on. I can't say it. Tension suddenly filled the room.
Just as Falzone stated, they are no doubt determined to cut off the Lao Shu.
I can say Lao Shu, but I can't say the other thing.
And they'll continue to maximize their exploitation before ultimately crushing us with no warning. The Lao Shu are bringing in more than enough money. Even if I displease them, they have no choice but to look the other way. And then that means they found a way to obtain more money than what the Lao Shu would bring in?
Perhaps satisfied by Nicola's deduction, Yang's smile grew wider. It'd be odd, though, if it really was. I mean, I guess it could make sense, but...
I have not yet caught them, but their movements are tied to the activities of the Berlin Mafia. Surely they know what would effectively weaken it. Where they obtained the information, I suspect they have ties to someone on the inside.
Gil's brow furrowed, then he gave a bitter smile. Yeah, notice Lee's not here?
So the Chinese are messing with American dollars in Italy, huh? Damn, this really is on a global scale.
This is some, like, contrived fucking shit.
So what's the plan, Yang? Don't tell me you'll still be loyal to whatever.
Is that what you think?
No?
Gil smiled as if he already knew the answer, and Yang continued.
I'm growing bored of them. Complying with them disrupts my leisure time. If they plan on betraying the Lao Shu, I'll do the same. We're no longer theirs to control.
He had a glow in his eyes.
I have my eye on the home country and the whatever. It may be fun to meddle in their affairs. Any fool who dares deceive me shall taste bitter regret. And then the Lao Shu will also assist in resolving the counterfeit money issue. It isn't for the church. It doesn't matter. Yang of the Lao Shu, I have a message from His Excellency. I cannot provide any personal assistance. I see. More firm than I anticipated.
Yang, what have you done?
I simply presented him with an opportunity. Money in exchange for information about the church.
You made such an offer to Bishop Rosberg? What were you thinking? A man who serves God wouldn't be tempted by a bribe.
I mean, have you met the guy? He's shadier than Nicola. Dante's really is stuck so deep in the shade he can't see shady when it hits him.
Sorry, but I don't believe in God. I can't understand any of that nonsense.
Well, as long as Yang's willing to cooperate with us, we can work toward the same goal.
Gil gave a warm smile and chimed in as if to mediate between the two.
The Berlin Mafia needs a united front. We all work together, no one can beat us. One counterfeiter is nowhere to hide.
Right under your fucking noses in the casino. I'm just saying! It could be the head of the Lao. You know what I mean? It could be whatever, but the Lao Shu's boss peoples. It could be the whatevers. They're the whatevers now. But I'm sorry. I'm just come on. Rosberg has probably something to do with it. The three families of the Burlone Mafia agreed to work with one another. Just when things were settling down.
So, Nicola,
What is it?
when Orlok broke in earlier, you seemed unrattled.
And I could say the same for you, Dante. No one could ever guess what takes you by surprise.
You're going to explain yourself later.
We're gonna get to see that, aren't we?
Of course.
He sighed a bit, but his smile never left his face. He then turned to Gil.
Gilbert, you heard what was said about the Key Maiden, right? She's important to the Falzone. It's our responsibility to protect her. She's too much for the Visconti. Return Spacey Adornado to us.
Return me? To the Falzone? My mind still hadn't wrapped around all this. I still didn't understand what the Key Maiden was. The idea of going to live with the Falzone made me feel anxious and a little lonely. Yeah, also, I do remember Orlok's bad ending all of a sudden now, and I was like, oh, Dante, I still love you, but man, all of a sudden I just got a bad taste. I love you, Dante, why did they do that to you? Why did they make you like that? Oh, now I need a minute. It just occurred to, like, I totally forgot it. Totally forgot it. Now I'm like, that did it. Oh. It's like you ate something nasty, and then it just came back to haunt me, is what it did. Like, oh no, I don't like that. Oh, Dante. My poor, precious, beautiful Dante. What did they do to you? They made you horrible.
Yeah, I can't give her to you. She's my guest.
His expression looked serious, and he didn't look away. It seemed he wouldn't give in. Don't take me by force, Dante. Don't do that again.
To be honest, the Falzone's mission has nothing to do with me. What's wrong with inviting a friend over to my place? I'll protect her. I get that you're concerned, but just trust me on that.
They glared at one another for a moment, and then...
Very well, but under one condition. That you make her safety top priority. The Falzone will be assigned to guard her. That's my condition for her to remain with the Visconti. Sure, that's fine. If we're gonna cooperate with each other, might as well be civil about it.
Oh my god, are you giving me Leo? Do I get Leo in Gilbert's path? So excited! I mean, I miss Julia, but I'm so excited if I get my Leo. Oh my god, do I get Leo?
You don't mind, right, Space?
Right. Thank you for being so considerate, Senor Falzone.
No need to call me Senor. Dante is fine. Seems like we're going to be intimately acquainted at some point.
Well, he doesn't know that yet. He hasn't found the secret page in the book that says, fuck the girl. But, like... What?
You bear the same mission as I do as head of the Falzone. So I view you as my equal, and therefore titles are unnecessary.
Understood.
And then, would you do the same for me as well?
No, fuck you, Francesca. For you?
I'm in a lower position than Dante. If Dante says so, then I have to follow, right?
I see. All right then, Nicola. I replied awkwardly and nodded, noticing a piercing glare from the side.
It's like, you can call me Yang. That's the only name you have!
Well, that's not true. You told us what your real name was, and I forgot it already. I really did. Sorry, Yang. He's trying to bother me. I hurried to speak. You don't have to...
You can call me Yang as well, Spacey.
I didn't make it in time. He had said it in a seemingly kind tone, but I felt myself freeze.
You can call me Yang.
I mean, what else am I supposed to call you, Senor Yang? You haven't... As for him, he seemed to get the response he wanted, and his smile grew as if he were having fun. I struggled to push through my mental block, knowing I couldn't stay silent forever. Well, it'd be nice if you could all call me Space, then.
It wouldn't be fair otherwise, right?
I don't mind. Dante was quiet after what Nicholas said, but he nodded, acknowledging my request. And so, the Burlone Mafia formed a coalition to resolve the counterfeit money issue. They had 3 months before the town would lose the church's support. If that happened, both the Mafia and Burlone's prosperity would face a steep decline. At night, the future of Burlone was secretly tasked to the hands of the Mafia.
So dramatic. You okay?
Oh. At Gil's concerned voice, I realized I was standing in a daze. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
No need to apologize. It's fine.
Gil smiled reassuringly and gently took my hand.
I'm sure you're tired. As soon as we get back to the manor, you should turn in early and get a good night's sleep.
Thank you, Gil. Gil led me into the Visconti's car. After returning to my room, I still couldn't fall asleep. I'm the Key Maiden? I have something to do with a relic in Burlone? I didn't even know that Burlone had a relic here. Everyone behaved as if this new development was normal, but I found it difficult to process everything. The more I thought about it, the more confused I became. Unable to sit still, I got out of bed. Maybe a glass of water will calm me down. Who's there? I don't know who sang it, so it's Gil. Oliver? I heard a voice as soon as I opened the door to the lounge. I recognized it and timidly responded. It's me, Gil.
Oh, it's Gil. No, it's you.
Gil seemed to be drinking alone. I'm sorry to disturb you.
No, not at all. What is it? Can't sleep? Can't say I blame you. They gave us a lot to chew on.
He put his glass on the table and stood up.
All right, time for some fresh night air.
What?
You'll join me, right?
I thought for a moment, then nodded. Gil gave a carefree smile. Chilling out, going on a walk. In our nightgown, we were sleeping, remember? The town hadn't yet gone to sleep. Let me throw my clothes on. Hold on, give me 20 minutes. Although there weren't many people around, light illuminated the buildings inside and out. See, that's the nice thing about modern day. You're lounging in your PJs. You're like, let me just chalk some bra on. Or just hold on. You throw on a sweatshirt and sweatpants. You walk outside looking like a hobo. Nobody's going to give a shit. I mean, some people might look at you weird, but like most people don't give a shit. But like in the 20s, you're like, hold on. Put on my full dress. I have to tie up my boots. I gotta actually look decent when I walk outside. Can't just like go rolling out in my fucking pajama, bunny slippers, and my robe. My hair in curlers. Like, oh hell no. Let's be real. She probably got up. I want to go get a glass of water to go to bed. Put on real clothes. I could hear people laughing and having fun inside a bar somewhere. Krita's still bustling. Night falls earlier in Arca.
Fun, isn't it? If you want, we can go to a bar. Sure, everyone would welcome you in.
Right. But maybe not tonight. I mean, look how beautiful the stars are. There wasn't a single cloud in the sky, only an endless blanket of stars. They sparkled like diamonds, lighting the world for people passing by.
Stars, huh? I haven't looked up at them in a while. So focused on walking the earth.
Well, you are the boss of the Visconti. You must be so busy. So, thank you for taking me out on a stroll like this.
I just wanted a fresh breath of air. In fact, I should be thanking you for coming with me.
Gil was a wonderful person, being able to look out for others so naturally. Just then, a sudden strong gust of wind made me shiver. Winter was near. The night was much colder than I anticipated. I should have brought a shawl before I left. I folded my arms together against the chill of the air, regretting my decision as I endured the cold. He gave us his jacket, didn't he? Yeah. Oh. Wasn't expecting that CG, but like when it was like, she's like, oh, I'm shivering. I'm like, he's giving us his fucking jacket because you know he's that kind of guy. Without saying a word, Gil draped his jacket over my shoulders. Thank you, Gil. Oh, look at how cute he looks. She's like side-eyeing. I was like, yeah, because I'm adorable. He knows he's adorable. He fucking knows he is. My God, he's so tall. Like, hi, is she short or is he just really tall or both?
You're welcome.
But aren't you cold?
Nah, cold air feels good. It's perfect to dry me out.
I held the jacket so I wouldn't drop it. It's so warm. It felt as if Gil's kindness was warming my body. I felt so grateful to him. I recalled the things that happened in today's meeting and timidly spoke. Thank you. Gil's eyes were so peaceful. Gil's eye! He's got one girl. Was so peaceful. Gil's eyes were so peaceful. Did you forget he's got an eye patch? There ain't no plural in this shit. See, I knew the game was going to fuck up at some point. Gil's eye was so peaceful. I felt like I could tell him anything. Today at the meeting, you told everyone you were going to keep me with the Visconti. I know that the Falzone are bad people, but I was still worried and scared. I was really happy when you told everyone that you would protect me. He's like silent.
Mafia too. No different from Dante or Yang.
You and Dante are vastly different from Yang, thank you.
Aren't you scared staying with the Visconti?
Gil, you're the one who took me in when I had nowhere to go. You told me then that you'd protect me. Even now, I relaxed my smile a little and held Gil's coat as if I were clinging onto it. Even without knowing the circumstances, you're always kind to me, so I'm not afraid of you. Gil looked at me with a vibrant eye and smiled quietly. You can't look at me with vibrant eyes. I mean, I guess, technically, you're like, vibrant eyes. I assume your other eye is vibrant, although you don't have another one. As far as we're aware, why would you be wearing an eye patch otherwise? I'm just saying.
I can't betray a woman's trust now, can I?
His tone was kind. Just talking to him, I somehow felt like I could relax. I smiled softly, and before I knew it, I felt so much better. And with that, no. Ooh, we got 2 side stories. We'll do them both. Suspicious. Or suspicion. The guide says suspicious, but this said suspicion. Ooh.
Gilbert's been charged on suspicion of counterfeit money, huh? That sounds fishy. Ordering an arrest without finding the plates of the production site.
Plate, a piece of equipment used to make duplicates. He sighed, and the smoke from his cigarette quivered. Roberto spoke with a stern expression.
I, too, questioned how the arrest was handled, but the military police have power. Being that you're a local, if you ignore their orders, you could be imprisoned.
You do as you please, and so will I.
Marco, are you even listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, I am.
Then please enlighten me. Why are you so concerned about him? It's not as though you have strong ties with the Visconti. Not only that, you and Gilbert Redford don't have a relationship either. So why exactly?
Oh, now we're ahem. I slowly exhaled smoke before answering Roberto. You'll understand someday.
Ugh, good grief. You're really something, you know that?
Interesting. Timing.
Suspicious.
Timing. It would have been better if it wasn't suspicion and timing, but... In the guide, it says suspicious and timing, so that's perfect.
Nicola, to be honest, did you have something to do with that disciple Orlok charging into the meeting?
Yeah, that's right.
We've known each other for a while. He had a message for you from the church and approached me to ask a favor. I studied Nicola's familiar face, looking to see what was on his mind. Nicola already seemed to be bracing himself, though his outward behavior and voice didn't change. At the moment, I felt that things were becoming unmanageable for the Falzone. And the Falzone's been involved in classic dealings. Our work is based off old relationships. Compared to the Visconti, we're not as active in bringing in new business. We don't have a solid network of intel like the Lao Shu, and no financial backing.
So you had Orlok tell that story in order to involve the Visconti and the Lao Shu?
Exactly. It was all my doing, but Orlok served as the bridge. He asked his boss if he could share this secret with people outside of the Falzone family. And surprisingly, it was approved rather quickly. I think the church understands that the Falzone can't resolve this issue alone.
The church is willing to jeopardize the safety of the relic in order to resolve this issue as soon as possible. I understood matters were urgent, but at the same time I was irritated. Rather than protect the relic, the church is concerned about money. How practical.
And they're probably planning to obtain both. Even if we fail, all they have to do is remove the relic from this town.
So they plan on ignoring what we want and turning the key anyway. I understood what Nicola was saying and sighed wearily. I understand, but... You're moving on your own too much, Nicola. Next time, bring these matters to me first.
I suppose it depends on the matter. Sorry, I can't always go by what you think. Nicholas seemed to be giving me a soft smile, but his green eyes weren't smiling.
Yeah, because Nicola's like, you were gonna take that girl in and you want to be with her. And like, fuck you and this girl and the whole... Like, 'cause we know what Nicola's really thinking about, like, the whole key maiden. The gatekeeper and the keymaster! He's thinking about this Ghostbuster shit. Like, so...
As the boss of the Falzone, your role is to protect the family. If you'd heard this suggestion from me before the meeting, I'm certain you would have said no. You wouldn't have agreed to reveal the relic. Of course, I don't blame you. No matter how responsible, or no matter how reasonable the proposal, in this case, it's your duty to be opposed. Nicola didn't look away from me and spoke with a gentle but strong determination. That's why when you can't move, I will, even if that means I lie to you. I am your right-hand man, after all. Do as you wish.
He's like, just let Nicola get away with shit. Because Nicola's not wrong, you know, but anyway.
And with that, we continued to walk down the streets of Creta. We talked about nothing in particular, and I couldn't help but appreciate his kindness. The end.
Wait, is this chapter 3?
It is! Look at that. Perfect timing.
Discovery. So anyway, we're going to start chapter 3 in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.